Welcome back to Dinar Info News, your #1 trusted source for breaking updates, deep dives, and real-time analysis surrounding the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnamese Dong, and global currency movements that impact all of us invested in this space. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for staying loyal and informed. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you never miss an important update. What we're going to discuss today could be one of the most pivotal moments in the Dinar and Dong investment journey. And it all ties back to a statement made on August 3rd by none other than Donald J. Trump. His words are sending shockwaves through the financial community, and yes, they appear to validate long-held suspicions and hopes within the currency revaluation community. For years, many of us have been following breadcrumbs, analyzing movements in central banks, watching geopolitical maneuvering, and interpreting quiet policy changes in Iraq and Vietnam. Many mainstream outlets have mocked Dinar and Dong holders, dismissing us as conspiracy theorists or hopeful dreamers. But those of us who have stayed the course, who have kept an ear to the ground and done the real research, know that something has been brewing beneath the surface. The August 3rd statement from Trump may just be the moment when the veil lifts, and the world is finally forced to acknowledge the realignment of global currencies that's already underway. So what exactly did Trump say that has everyone buzzing? During a closed-door roundtable that later leaked to various outlets, and was partially confirmed in a follow-up interview, Trump was discussing the necessity of a return to financial sovereignty and mentioned specific currencies that have been, in his words, artificially suppressed for decades. He emphasized that the United States, under a future administration that puts America first, must also ensure that trading partners play by the same monetary rules. Then came the bombshell. Trump mentioned Iraq and Vietnam. By name, he stated that both countries have been under the heel of manipulated currency systems, and it's time to restore their natural market values. Let that sink in. For the first time, a former president and major political figure has acknowledged publicly that the dinar and the dong have been undervalued, manipulated, and due for a correction. Now, if you've been tracking international monetary policy, you'll realize how huge that statement is. These aren't just casual words. Trump, love him or hate him, is a calculated communicator. He doesn't drop country names without purpose, and for him to single out Iraq and Vietnam in a monetary context is a deliberate signal. It's not just rhetoric. It's a reflection of ongoing behind-the-scenes planning, potentially involving the U.S. Treasury, the IMF, and possibly even the BRICS nations. The financial community is scrambling to analyze what this means, and we're going to break it down for you. First, let's talk about Iraq. Over the past 12 months, the Iraqi government has been making several aggressive moves to stabilize and internationalize the dinar. In early 2025, Iraq announced tighter banking compliance with SWIFT regulations, and they've been integrating their banking system with international standards. Not only that, but Iraq has also increased its gold reserves significantly, a clear sign that it's preparing for greater monetary sovereignty. When a country begins to stockpile gold, it often does so to strengthen the backing of its currency and to prepare for greater independence from the petrodollar system. If we add to this the quiet deals Iraq has made with China and India to conduct oil trade in local currencies rather than US dollars, it becomes clear Iraq is shifting away from a USD-dependent framework and toward a revaluation of the DD based on actual assets and market forces. At the same time, the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) has made statements, subtle but telling, that the dinar's current rate is not reflective of its economic reality. Sources within the finance ministry have leaked that there is mounting internal pressure to normalize the dinar's value now that Iraq is politically more stable and economically more self-sufficient. The old narrative that Iraq is too or corrupt to revalue no longer holds water. Today's Iraq is far different from 10 years ago. Infrastructure is returning. International investment is up, and regional partnerships are strengthening. Combine that with the geopolitical will of figures like Trump, who are now saying outright that it's time for these countries to stand on their own monetary feet, and the picture starts coming together. Let's now turn to Vietnam, a country that has quietly transformed itself from a war-torn economy into a rising powerhouse in Southeast Asia. The dong has long been kept at a suppressed value, in part to benefit Vietnam's export-heavy economy. But in recent years, the Vietnamese government has signaled an interest in attracting foreign capital and moving toward a more balanced economic model. In fact, Vietnam has been in quiet talks with several international institutions about reforming its banking and monetary policies. This isn't rumor, this is happening. And Trump's mention of Vietnam in his August 3rd comments strongly suggests that the U.S. may support a more realistic valuation of the dong as part of a broader realignment of trade relationships. It's important to remember that Vietnam, like Iraq, is rich in natural resources and has a young, educated workforce. It's no longer the economic underdog it was even 2 decades ago. More importantly, Vietnam has been shifting its foreign reserves strategy, diversifying away from the dollar, and increasing its gold and yuan holdings. In fact, Vietnamese state-owned banks have started conducting more bilateral currency swaps, positioning themselves for greater flexibility and monetary independence. This is not the behavior of a country content with keeping its currency artificially low forever. So where does this leave us? Trump's August 3rd statement is arguably the most explicit confirmation yet that a global currency realignment, including the revaluation of the Dinar and Dong, is not only possible but increasingly likely. His comments echo similar sentiments we've heard in the past from financial insiders, former IMF officials, and international economists. But this time, the message came from someone with a massive public platform and political influence. And make no mistake, when Trump speaks, markets listen. Already, we're seeing speculative activity in currency markets and online trading. Communities are buzzing with renewed interest in the Dinar and Dong. Brokers have reported increased volume in exotic currency purchases since Friday. That's not coincidence. That's the beginning of a shift. Now, let's talk timing, because that's the question everyone wants answered. When will the Dinar and Dong revalue? While no one can give a precise date, the convergence of several indicators suggests we're closer than ever. The Fed is struggling to maintain control over inflation. The dollar is weakening under mounting debt, and alternative financial systems led by BRICS and regional alliances are gaining ground. In such an environment, it's in the interest of countries like Iraq and Vietnam to assert their economic independence through currency normalization. And if Trump returns to office or continues exerting influence on policy behind the scenes, expect even faster acceleration of these trends. Another angle worth discussing is the role of the quantum financial system, QFS, which many in the revaluation community believe will usher in a new era of digital asset-backed currencies. While some mainstream economists scoff at this, recent pilot programs by central banks, including Iraq's exploration of blockchain-enabled systems, indicate that we are moving toward more transparent, secure, and sovereign monetary frameworks. The QFS, or something like it, could enable a seamless transition from suppressed fiat systems to asset-backed digital currencies that reflect true national wealth. This could be the mechanism through which revaluation happens quietly, digitally, and suddenly. It's also worth mentioning that major financial institutions are updating their platforms to accommodate multi-currency operations and instant conversions. Why now? Why the sudden rush to integrate real-time forex capabilities on such a wide scale? Could it be because they're preparing for sudden market realignments? Don't be surprised if one day we wake up and see the Dinar and Dong listed at entirely different rates. It may not be announced with fanfare, it might just happen. So, what should you do now? This is not financial advice, but it's time to get educated and stay vigilant. Double-check your holdings. Ensure your currency is stored securely. Be wary of scammers and always work with reputable dealers. Watch the news from Iraq and Vietnam closely, monitor oil prices, gold reserves, and geopolitical shifts. Pay attention to the bond markets. And, of course, subscribe here to Dinar Info News, where we'll continue to track all developments, sift through the noise, and bring you facts, not hype. To wrap up, Trump's August 3rd statement has set off a chain reaction. Whether it was intentional or not, he's cracked open the door to the legitimacy of revaluation, and more importantly, he's validated years of research, patience, and resilience from investors who refuse to be silenced or mocked. If you're holding Dinar or Dong today, you're not crazy. You're ahead of the curve. The world is waking up, and change is coming. Stay prepared, stay informed, and remember, the truth always surfaces, and sometimes, it takes just one sentence from a powerful figure to start the avalanche.